signs of the last days, personal and social, first stage of the last time. The hadiths that deal with the signs of the last days provide us with a detailed description of the period in which these signs will appear. We can understand from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the first stage of the end times is a period that seems to be religious, but one that almost completely rejects Allah's religion and the moral values of the Quran. It is a period in which that which has been clearly indicated in the verses of the Quran are overlooked. Non-Islamic judgments are given by using the name of Allah. Religion falls into discord. Worship is performed for show, and religion is used as a means for profit and gain. It is a characteristic of this time that faith does not depend on knowledge and study but on imitation. In this time, so-called Muslims are in the majority, while real scholars and sincere Muslims are in the minority. The following are the signs revealed by the Prophet ﷺ 14 centuries ago, and which are coming true in the age in which we live. First, according to the Quran, on the last day, the Prophet will say that his own people will have abandoned the Quran. My Lord, my people treat this Quran as something to be ignored. Surat al-Furqan, verse 30. It is also revealed in the hadith that during the end times the Quran's guidance will be disregarded and people will stray from it. Near the establishment of the hour, there will be days during which religious knowledge will be taken away and general ignorance will be spread. Bukhari. There will come a time for my people when there will remain nothing of the Quran except its outward form and nothing of Islam except its name, and they will call themselves by this name even though they are the people furthest from it. Ibn Babuya, Thawabul Amal. A comparison is made in Surah Juma, verse 5. The metaphor of those who were charged with the Torah but then have not upheld it is that of a donkey carrying books. There is no doubt that this verse applies as a warning to Muslims, reminding them that they must be careful not to fall into the same grave error. The Quran was sent down as a book of guidance for people to observe. The Prophet ﷺ said that despite the fact that the Quran will be read, the knowledge and wisdom it contains will not be considered. This is another sign of the time of the end times. There will come a time upon the Ummah when people will recite the Quran, but it will not go further than their throats into their hearts. Bukhari. Allah's Messenger ﷺ spoke of something and said, "It will be happen when knowledge will be no more." Ziyad said, Allah's Messenger, how will knowledge vanish despite the fact that we will be reciting the Quran and teaching its recitation to our children, and our children will teach its recitation to their children up to the day resurrection? Thereupon the Prophet ﷺ said, Jihad, do these Jews and Christians not recite the Torah and the Bible, but not act according to what is contained in them? Ahmad ibn Majah, Tirmidhi. It is a sign of the end times that some Muslims will follow the example of heretical Jews and Christians and imitate them blindly. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Surely you will follow the ways of those nations who were before you, span by span and cubit by cubit. so much so that even if they entered a hole of a lizard, you too would follow them. We said, O Allah's Messenger, do you mean the Jews and the Christians? He replied, whom else? Bukhari. Surat Al-An'am verse 26 speaks of those who keep others away from the Quran. We can understand from the hadith that there will be corrupt manners of thought prevalent before the doomsday comes, and that systems will come into being that are far from truth and justice, that only cause great discord and draw people away from the ways of Allah. The Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, before the last hour there will be commotions like pieces of a dark night. Abu Dawud. Before the last hour there will be commotions like pieces of a dark night, in which a man will be a believer in the morning and an infidel in the evening, or a believer in the evening and infidel in the morning. Abu Dawud. It will be a sign of the last day that after Allah has completely revealed in the Quran what is lawful and what is forbidden, laws and commands will be given that are not essential to religion. A time will come when a man will not care about how he gets things, whether lawful or unlawful. Bukhari. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam revealed to us that in the end times some people acknowledged as scholars will actually be two-faced impostors. Wolves will give readings in the end times. Let those who come to see those times seek shelter from their evil in Allah. They will be very corrupt people. Hypocrisy will prevail and nobody will be ashamed of it and its manifestations. Tirmidhi, Nawadir al-Usul. There will appear in later times a people who will gain this world with the help of religion. Tirmidhi. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in the end times men will come forth who will fraudulently use religion for worldly gains and wear sheepskins in public to display meekness. Their tongues will be sweeter than sugar, but their hearts will be the hearts of the wolves. Tirmidhi. Those people are described who show no respect for the laws of Islam and who do not hesitate to use religion as a means for their own profit. In the end times of the community of the faithful people, those who adorn the mosques but leave their own hearts in ruins, who fail to look after their religion as much as they do their clothes, who forsake their religious obligations for the sake of their activities in this world, will increase in number. Agreed upon. It is a sign that the doomsday is approaching when people know that Allah has commanded them to prefer goodness and shun evil, but do not observe it. The last hour will not established until there will remain those people who will neither be aware of the virtues and never prevent the vices. Ahmad. Near the establishment of the hour, good deeds will decrease. Bukhari. In one hadith it is revealed as a sign of the last day that faithful Muslims will become weakened under pressure from sinners. The hour will come when voices are raised in the mosques. Tirmidhi. The hour will come when leaders are oppressors. Al-Haythami, Kitab al-Fitan. The Prophet ﷺ says that in the end times there will be very few people who can be called true believers. There will come a time for my people when the mosque will be full of people but they will be empty of right guidance. Ibn Babuya, Thawabul Amal. One hadith says that sincere Muslims will have to hide their faith and perform their worship in secret. A time will come when the hypocrites will live secretly among you and the faithful will try to live their religion in secret among others. agreed upon.